Welcome, everybody, to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Today is Thursday, April the 9th, 2020. Adam Freeman here, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. Brees, still down there in Orange Beach, living and loving life. What's up, Petey?
Still hanging in there, man. Still 85 degrees, and it was a little bit warmer. And obviously can't jump into the beach or jump in the pool, so had to drag out the hose pipe today and do it old school style.
Well, it was warm here early, and it is about 50 outside right now. I just went outside for a minute, and it's a little chilly out there right now, but it was warm enough today where I was able to get outside and washed one of the cars that had been draped in pollen, so I got that taken care of. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at here on a Thursday night tonight, and Drive Through Sports. Again, you guys can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, and Spotify, as well as check us out on our YouTube channel, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Tonight, because there's not a lot of competition going on in the standings, people have found new ways to compete virtually. And tell us a little bit about what you have uncovered here that's going on with some NBA players.
Man, I tell you what, desperate times call for desperate measures. I feel like I'm going to be watching ESPN The Ocho on Sunday. Easter Sunday is going to have 8 NBA, former NBA and WNBA stars, 8 of those participants in a virtual game of horse.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow.
Horse is, as we used to play a lot of horse back in the day.
A lot of horse, man. Between your goal, my goal, shoot, man.
I mean,
about my house in Brentwood,
you would always
great place.
You always used to try to be Rex Chapman. I would always throw a little left-handed Jeff Turner, former Vandy great,
Jeff Turner,
and try to throw you off a little bit. But we had some drag-out, knockdown horse games for sure.
Oh, no doubt, because it was from the goal to about the front of my garage was about 5 feet, and you could take about a step. I shot out there so much. If I took a step in, I was pretty much good from about 21 feet in, because I knew how the rim was, and because we dropped that goal down and we used to dunk on it and stuff, and so I knew the bounces of the rim and everything. But so these guys are actually going to be shooting like what, in their driveways and just like, hey, 15-footer, your foul line jumper or top of the key three. Is that kind of how it's going to be? And they're just webcam.
I think most of these people probably have pretty good gym setups at their houses, obviously.
It's not going to be like, okay, I'm taking it out from behind the wheel and the spare tire. Okay, I'm 2 feet in front of the gas grill. Yeah,
yep.
You're probably right. You're probably right. They're going to be okay. Take a step to the left of the light post. And they probably have their own home courts, as you can imagine. Well, the first matchup is Paul Pierce and Zach LaVine of the Bulls. Paul Pierce, who NBA champion, multi-time All-Star, has been retired for a few years now. I'm going with Paul Pierce on this one, just because he's just a straight-up shooter. He always has been, and I can't imagine his accuracy when nobody's guarding him from anywhere.
Right, and obviously, if they say, no dunking.
Oh yeah,
I give the edge to Paul Pierce in this opening round contest.
Oh, definitely. I think he takes that no problem. Interesting one next is Mike Conley against I think 3-time All-American Tamika Catchings. Is she not the all-time leading scorer in the Lady Vol history? If she's not all-time leader, she's top 3. Got to be.
Yeah.
Shamika Claw may have beaten out, or Candace Parker maybe, but she's on the Mount Rushmore of Lady Vol basketball for sure. Mike Conley against Tamika Catchings. Who you got?
I think Mike Conley's probably going to do some, as we would like to affectionately call it, some dipsy do. You know, behind the back, between the legs, some kind of, something that maybe Tamika Catchings probably hasn't. You know, is she even in the WNBA anymore? I to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you.
I don't know if she is or not.
I mean, obviously, Mike Conley's still active as a guard for the.
I don't think she is. Yeah, I don't think she is. But yeah, I think.
Where is our fact checker at for Drop 3 Sports? Yeah, I mean, where's our intern that's supposed to look this stuff up for us?
Yeah, we should have gotten to that person. I think they're in their own quarantine right now downstairs. I couldn't bribe them into doing any additional research.
Yeah,
we got 2 more matchups on the horizon here, and this one is interesting. Trae Young from here in Atlanta, and Chauncey Billups, who was NBA Finals MVP, and shooting guard. But Trae Young's just got ridiculous range.
Right.
I got Trae Young on this one, man. I honestly do. I think he's just going to push Chauncey out to a part where he's just not comfortable. And Trae Young can go one step, 2 dribbles on his side of half court and launch it. And I think he's going to live out there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Trae Young is maybe the favorite to win this thing. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
And you feel bad for Chauncey Billups kind of getting the raw end of the deal, the draw.
he got a bad draw.
But Billups, he was kind of the bully. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He would like to attack the rim, back in the day. So nobody's going to get in the way in game of horse.
No, and layups are not that difficult. As we all know, unless you want to go with the Jeff Turner left-handed layup, which you did multiple times, or the little left-handed floater in the lane to try and pick up some letters on me. But the last one is another current WNBA superstar, Allie Quigley and Chris Paul. I don't know much about Allie Quigley, but I know Chris Paul is a pretty accurate shooter. I'm assuming that Allie Quigley is as well to be put on this list. Having never seen her shoot a basketball, I got to go with Chris Paul. I don't know who Allie Quigley is. I
mean, she was an American-Hungarian-born professional basketball player. Played at the DePaul University in Chicago.
Okay, all right.
Graduated in 2008, so
she's been in the league a while.
Yeah. Okay. She's a WNBA 3-time WNBA All-Star, and she won the All-Star Weekend 3-point contest back-to-back, 2017 and 2018. So,
so she can shoot now.
She's got the resume.
She's got the resume. Can she get it done?
Pull off the upset.
Can she get it done? Well, that's an interesting lineup of folks, and from NBA, retired NBA, WNBA, and sticking, with our sports theme here. We kind of talked about a couple things before we went before we started recording here tonight. I mentioned that they're moving up the Last Chance documentary on Michael Jordan to April the 19th, which they were originally going to release it in June.
Right.
I think with nothing going on, they've just moved it up. Thank goodness, because I'm really looking forward.
Listen, once they saw the success of Tiger King, I mean, it was a no-brainer, right?
It was a no-brainer. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you gotta strike while the iron is hot with the streaming videos and documentaries for sure. But so it got me thinking about, like, ESPN does a great job with 30 for 30s. I love 30 for 30s. I've probably seen every single one of them. So I was thinking, well, let's go with our top 3 30 for 30s of all time. Our favorite 3 30 for 30s. What do you got as far as your top three, your favorite ones?
Well, obviously, if you've not picked up on it, if you're just our first-time listener, huge professional wrestling guy, and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, 30 for 30 was just awesome.
Yeah, the one on Nature Boy, that was pretty good. Yeah, I got to give you that one. That was good. So that'd be probably number one.
Right. Second one, and obviously a Tennessee guy, but man, when these guys came into the college basketball scene, it changed things for me big time, and that was the Fab Five, Michigan.
Yep, that was right around the time when we were in college. I think they came around 91.
Yeah.
91, 92. They went to the title game, then went back to Final Four in 92, 93. Title game in 93. They beat Kentucky in the semis. And I believe everybody was over at my parents' house watching that game that went into overtime. And that was pretty sad. But, great. It's a great, and not just like, you don't even have to be a Michigan fan to love that documentary. And I'm not. I mean, I wasn't a big Fab Five fan, but having all the interviews of those guys, like telling you what it was like to be them back then. And like, I'll never forget Jalen Rose talking about we were winning all these games and everybody was talking about us and this and that. Because we couldn't even afford to go to Taco Bell. He's like, we didn't even have any money because you couldn't work. You couldn't get jobs and stuff. He's like, so, people would buy us taco. It was just crazy, like it kind of started the whole, like, they're selling their jerseys with their name on it for $60, and they're selling their likenesses and they're not getting anything from it. I think that's the first you saw from the Fab Five, and the trends with the shorts and the black socks. Love that, man. So you got Nature Boy, you got Fab Five. What's your number three?
Yeah, and again, a guy from the South wearing a Michigan hat in college down at Lipscomb University was unheard of. So I was huge Fab Five guy. My last one was also, as I was beginning to start in the coaching career, this guy, Paul Westhead at Loyola Marymount, the guru of Go, the Bo Kimball, Hank Gathers. It was just something that just inspired me. And, I tried to use some things my first couple of years of what he had taught at Loyola Marymount, and just a tremendous story. I mean, to see a team just throw it up 140 points, 100, like it was nothing.
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback on that because that's my favorite one.
Oh, okay.
It's my favorite one because there's so many stories that are told in that. And I actually use it in my class when we talk about athletic heart syndrome, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is what Hank Gathers had. And from Westhead's, he gets axed from the Lakers and just kind of falls into this job and employs this philosophy. We're going to shoot it every 12 seconds or whatever. And to have the success to be one step away from the Final Four, it was incredible. And then just the whole Hank Gathers thing, how that played out, how him and Bo Kimball started at USC and just wasn't working out. And they transferred and they found this coach that, just got it started. Guru of Go is by far my favorite one, just because it has so many layers to it. And there's so many, I don't know. It's just so interesting from the coaching aspect and also from the human interest side with what that team went through. Just incredible. So that's my number one. My second one, my number 2, my second favorite is.
Listen, don't even say it. I know what it's going to be.
No, you don't.
All right.
Because the one that you may think it is, it's not.
It's not I Hate Christian Laettner?
No.
Okay.
No, that's not even on my top 3. I refuse
right.
to even recognize that 30 because he's so irrelevant. I'm not recognizing him as having a 30 for 30 made after him. So that 30 for 30 doesn't even exist to me.
Okay? Not in your library. Got it.
No, when I move across the 30 for 30 library on my ESPN Plus, it's like it's a giant black spot. It doesn't even exist. However, my number 2 is got to be being, living in SEC territory, a little biased, but You Don't Know Bo. If you have not seen the You Don't Know Bo 30 for 30, and then I don't know what to tell you, because it's there's a reason why it's up there so high for me, just because I lived that era, you lived that era. We didn't get to see him as much as you get to see athletes today. Can you imagine the legend of Bo Jackson if he got as much publicity as the Le'Veon Bells of the league, the Antonio Browns, right, guys that are just nonstop in the news cycle? I mean, he was playing professional baseball and was an all-star, and was and then at the end of that season, he'd just go strap a helmet on and be the best running back in NFL football. I mean, it's absolutely unheard of. If he doesn't get hurt, he's probably a Hall of Famer in 2 sports. But yeah. The human interest part of that 30 for 30. He ran track. He played baseball. He played football. It's a lesson for all these kids growing up now that you need to play multiple sports. Do not specialize in one sport. You're going to get burned out, and you're going to get injured. And just the fact that he was so naturally strong. One of my favorite lines from that documentary, they were interviewing Mark Gubazza, who played with him at Kansas City. And he said he went over to his house one time. He says he's got this huge room. It's just all these free weights and weight machines and stuff like that. He goes, and it didn't look like they had ever been used. And he's like, golly, you got all this equipment. He's like, man, it's like, I don't even use it. It's just for show. He goes, I don't use this stuff. And I was like, yeah, wow, because he's just like, we call down here country strong. He was country strong. And hearing him talk about his days at Auburn, where he was like, why do I need to practice so hard? Like, you were trying to wear me out? Like, talking to Coach Dye, like, what are you trying to do to me? Why are you yelling at me? It's like, just give me the ball on Saturday and everything will be fine. It was just such a good, and he is such a simple guy. That's one of the reasons I like that particular one, and that's why.
Let me throw this in, Adam. I introduced my son Connor to Bo Jackson on that 30 for 30, and a week later, his package came in the mail, and it had his name on it, and he had ordered a Bo Jackson baseball Kansas City jersey, and to this day, he was like, if any of his siblings have like a jersey day at school or something like that, and like, hey, can I borrow this jersey? And he's like, don't touch that jersey.
Number 16.
He is a Bo Jackson guy, top to bottom.
That's awesome. And see the for you to have introduced him to that through this documentary, it just proves how great it is of like kind of really making and solidifying that. My number 3 is kind of a tie, and it's kind of a tie because it was going on at the same time, and it's a tie between Pony Excess, SMU scandal, which I thought was just it was so out of control. It was like literally the Wild West out there. It's a tie between Pony Excess and Catholics versus convicts. Because the Catholics versus convicts, you see and you get the backstory behind that. And You get the sort of the build up, and there's the hatred between the two schools, and then you get these Notre Dame students that are just all of a sudden they're these entrepreneurs. They're like, oh, we'll get these shirts. We'll sell these shirts out of our dorm room, and we'll make all these shirts, and we'll sell them on game day or whatever. And they get in big trouble for it. In fact, one of the guys was a walk-on on the basketball team, and was actually not going. He was going to play, but he was going to get to dress out and practice and everything, and be on the roster, which would allow his name to be put up in the lobby of the arena. And he got kicked off. He lost his scholarship or whatever it was, because of his part in that. And that was kind of full circle. It's not just about sports. It's about the human element, which is the reason why I like that one. And the Pony Excess, just Ron Meyer and Eric Dickerson and Craig James, and just all the dudes that went through there, and all the absolute the money that went through that school. And again, they got caught, but everybody was doing it.
Right.
Mid-'80s, everybody was doing it. So yeah, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. But those are my top 3/4. I love yours too. The Nature Boy one, obviously, and Guru Go for me was number 1. It was your number 3. But yeah, those are great episodes. And ESPN does a good job of whichever ones they come out with. I always can't wait to watch them because they're cool. But getting away from sports now, obviously we've had a quarantine situation here in Georgia where it's shelter in place. You are sort of quarantining yourself in Orange Beach because Jordan, who still is living with you guys in Brentwood, he works at a hospital in Murfreesboro, so he is actually in contact with patients so he's at a higher risk. He's essential, and you got 6 kids, 5 other kids, and you and Amy in the house. So in an effort to kind of stay safe, kind of giving him the run of the house, and y'all are staying in Orange Beach. I'm assuming that the hub down in Orange Beach is pretty much like the hub of any community, and that's the local Walmart. Am I right?
Big time.
Big time. Now, are they limiting the number of people that are going in?
No.
Okay. They had you're in Alabama. I know they are doing it here. They're doing it at Kroger and Walmart. They're limiting how many people can come in. But
obviously, they have people standing outside. Guy has an iPad, and he acts like he's counting, and maybe he is, but he is. I've not yet seen him stop anybody and say, "Wait till the next person comes out before I can let you in." So
I got you.
But they say 6 feet rule. They have X's on the floor,
right?
As you're checking out. But
so basically, what you're telling me is the WalMarts in Alabama are like the easiest clubs to get in on the planet.
That's right. I'm not even on the list.
You're not on the list. No bouncer. Come on.
Yeah.
So
you look like a good guy.
Yeah, you look like you're all right. Yeah, you look healthy. Okay, go on. But you were telling me about something that happened at the Walmart down in Orange Beach.
Obviously, there have been many stories, pictures, social tweets of things that happened in Walmart throughout our Walmart history, right? Different kind of outfits being worn to just whatever. So with this quarantine and then the different things that they're trying to, if you do have to get out, wear the mask, if you have to have rubber gloves, whatever. It is when we first got down here, that was not a big, thing. I was hearing from people back home that, it was just like doom and gloom. And, I'm looking around down here thinking, what's going on? There's nothing going. I mean, people are acting normal.
Yeah.
So today I go and I have to pick stuff up, and it's changed a little bit. The tune has changed a little bit to the fact that as I'm passing someone, as I'm going in, I would call one of Alabama's finest couples walking out. The female, no gloves, no mask, no nothing. The male had on a swim goggle mask that covered his nose, like you going snorkeling, and a snorkel as he was walking out. And it looked like he was like so glad when he got outside he could take that thing out. Like that was protecting his, you know, is there a hole on top of that thing? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was being sarcastic. Yes. Yeah. So I felt like he felt in real life that was going to help. I mean, if he would have came out with the flippers on, then we would have known.
Well, like you said, Walmart is an eclectic collection of humanity for sure, and it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't have to be a situation where it's a quarantine situation. I mean, these things happen, as we well know, is well documented. On the daily. I mean, just every day, you really don't know exactly what you're going to run into. The policies at Walmart fairly lax. I can recall several years back when we were running our fireworks tent. We knew there was going to be some security issues, and we were going to be handling large amounts of money, and so. Kevin, who was working with me at the time, he's like, well, we gotta have something, for our protection, at night, when we can't go make a deposit. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, well, he goes, we need a gun. And I was like, a gun? What are you talking about? We're gonna be out in the middle of nowhere, basically, with possibly thousands of dollars of cash in our possession. And he goes, we need to have a deterrent, meaning we need to have a gun. And I was like, well, you can't just go get a gun. He goes, oh, yeah, you can. Well, at that time, he worked at Walmart, okay? And you didn't have to work at Walmart to do this. He goes in, buys a pump-action shotgun with a pistol grip, a box of ammo. We go and we have it. We shot it a few times, probably shot the whole box of ammo while we were out there just messing around over that 2.5 week period. He's like, well, I've already got a shotgun. I really don't need this shotgun. I was like, what do you mean? You can't just take it back. He goes, oh, yeah, I can. He takes and walks into Walmart with a shotgun, takes it to the gun department, and they give him a total refund on his shotgun. He used it for like 2 weeks, probably shot 50 rounds out of it, and they just took it right back. And then when he walked out, and he walked out with however much, $200 or whatever it was he paid for it. And I was like, are you serious? Did that just happen? He's like, oh yeah. He goes, they take back anything. And maybe they've changed their policy now, but back then it was like the Wild West, man. You go into Walmart, buy a pump action pistol grip shotgun and all the ammo you need. And, and he was 19, So yeah,
wow.
Walmart's a unique place, and yeah, I wish I had been there to see the guy with the snorkel. I really do.
He was one of a kind for sure.
Well, here's my question: the lady with him, she had.
It was just like, hey, it's my husband. What are you?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But then, when I thought, well, maybe he's just messing around, then what happened? They get to their car, is a huge truck, and she jumps in the back on the bed with a folding chair with what looks like two other people, an 8-year-old riding in shotgun, the shotgun seat, and the snorkel guy drives off, and everybody's hanging out the window, and people on the back are just like, whatever. And right there, I knew from, they had no care in the world about Corona.
Yeah. That's the truth. Jeez.
So, good times.
Yeah. Everything around here has been, I'll be honest with you. I've seen my neighbors more probably in the last 2 weeks than I have in the past 6 months. They're out more with their kids. just in their front yard. They're not running around, but
Right.
kids are riding bikes, families are taking walks, which I think is a good thing. Because we got nothing but time at this point because can't go anywhere. I went to the grocery store, and that's about it. So grocery store and gas station, that's about the only places you can go if you're going somewhere to pick up something to eat. But well, I'm sure it'll be a few more days before you have to trek out to Walmart again. Who knows what you'll see at that point.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to try and hunker down here for the rest of the evening. My PlayStation 4 came today with it. Madden 20. Yeah.
Nice.
If you play on beginner and you play the Titans, nobody can tackle Derrick Henry.
Is that right?
Perfect. It's a joke. Yeah. Yeah. It's a joke. Yeah. So, yeah, he's an absolute monster. Also got a golf game, which is really good too.
Awesome.
Hopefully MLB The Show is going to come tomorrow.
Come out. Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Brees, we'll talk again tomorrow night. Everybody, we appreciate you guys listening tonight. Remember, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, as well as iHeart. For good buddy Paul Brees down in Orange Beach, this is Adam Freeman. You've been listening to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul.